So, Chapter 17 of To Kill a Mockingbird is the very start of the official trial. So, Chapter 16, they arrive at the courthouse, and there's kind of like a moment where they start to see that Heck Tate is on the witness stand. But Chapter 17 is where we hear Heck Tate's testimony and we hear Bob Ewell's testimony. And remember, Bob Ewell is the father of the woman who is accusing Tom Robinson. It's kind of him and her family that are accusing Tom Robinson of this crime. And if you remember way back in Chapter 3, we met one of the younger Ewell sons at the school. And remember, we learned through that interaction, they're very dirty, they're very rude, they're very disorderly, very violent because they're worried that he'll, attack the teacher in the middle of the schoolhouse. And the other kids are like, there's little ones here, don't do it, don't antagonize him. And so we've learned that basically the Ewells live on the outskirts of town, and they're very much looked down upon. They're very much seen as dirty, uncivilized, to use that term, people. They have to hunt because the father spends all the money on the alcohol, and the town has just decided we're not even going to get him in trouble for hunting out of season, because if he doesn't hunt out of season, the family won't eat. So we have this background knowledge of Bob Ewell. And then, of course, in this chapter, we hear his language. And he is very nasty and very mean and says horrific things. But when you compare Heck Tate and Bob Ewell's testimony, of course, they're acting very differently. But you want to think about the details that Atticus is focusing on. Because remember, he's trying to defend Tom, and he doesn't think he has any chance of winning. But he's trying to pick apart some of the details of the story and figure out, okay, what actually happened and how much of the truth is there and how much is there fake. So when you're reading this chapter, again, one of my questions, I ask you to summarize Mr. Tate's testimony. I want you to just focus on, okay, what's happening, what's going on, what is he saying, and what is Atticus asking him? And then specifically think about, okay, he focuses specifically on this detail of where Mayella is hit on her face. He goes in and he focuses a lot on where exactly she is hit on the face. And then when he's with Bob Ewell, he focuses on which is his dominant hand. So we're going to see that come into play later, but make sure when you're thinking about it, this whole court, remember, we talked about this in Chapter 16, everybody in town is there. Everybody and their brother is there. So everything that we are hearing, the entire town is hearing. So you want to go through and think, okay, what is it that is happening where this court case is not happening in a bubble? So how is this court case affecting the people in the town? And how are the townsfolk affecting the court case?